Today, I am joined by my friend, Dean Leung, Chief Customer Success Officer at iManage. Hi, Dean.
Hey, Beth Anne, good to see you again, albeit virtually.
Albeit virtually, and it's a little sad. I was looking forward to seeing you and catching up, but I'm excited to be able to talk what kind of cool things you guys are doing because you're doing a lot. There's a ton going on. So let's talk a little bit about that. How are you doing, first of all?
Well, we're doing great. And first of all, I hope everybody stays healthy. Even though we're not there in person, we're still all in for ILTACON and throughout 2021 as a ILTA Max sponsor. And we put a ton of time on the content to ensure that you still have the best information from us to add value to the ILTACON experience, whether you're attending in person or remote.
We're excited for some of the cool stuff you're doing. So first, just tell us what you're doing at ILTACON virtually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we have a commitment to our customers and the ILTA community. Specifically, we're focusing on customer desired outcomes, which is really aligning what the imperatives of the business of the business side of our customers are looking for, and aligning the IT initiatives around that, and really helping drive adoption, as that's the key to maximizing the value of your investment. And to do that, really focus on the tools to support the delivering of the outcomes and adoption. And it's not just a go live. We're really focused on being there throughout the entire journey through the iManage experience.
Well, with all of that, what are customer priorities? Because they must have shifted a little bit in the last, 18 months or so.
Yeah, and that's a great question, because some are the same, right? So we've seen a huge desire to maximize the adoption, but some have evolved over the past few months or a year and a half now. Can't believe that much time has passed. Moving to the cloud has really accelerated, but really it was also the initial adapting to COVID and getting people to be able to work from home, but also the post-COVID work environment there. We see a huge drive with Microsoft, both from the Azure platform on the back end and people really adopting Office 365. But in particular, we see a lot of interest in the adoption of Microsoft Teams.
There's a lot going on with Teams. There's some really cool new stuff out from them. That's got to be a lot of fun for you guys.
Oh, absolutely, especially building the integrations into our products so people can really have a seamless experience between our platform and the Microsoft platform.
I'm excited about learning about Teams, but what are you most excited about for ILTACON?
Oh, we have a long list of stuff, So, first of all, iManage has continued to grow through the pandemic. We're now at 800 people. We've added
Wow.
100 people throughout 2020. And we're really singularly focused on empowering what we call our knowledge workers. We'll be speaking on the advancements we've made in the cloud, both in the service itself and the supporting services and content needed to make sure that people are successfully transitioning into the cloud. With COVID, the move to the cloud has accelerated, as I mentioned earlier, but that's also changed the security picture, right?
Sure.
So we focus on delivering the best security in this changing environment. How people think about security now is different than between on-premise and in the cloud. What you do now, if you're on-premise, is you're focused on patching, server maintenance, etc., but that's no longer an issue. In the cloud, it's about issues such as access control,
Sure.
monitoring, encryption, and the work we've done organically, as well as the work that we're doing with Microsoft, takes security to a whole new level. We'll be talking about knowledge and AI as well, and we're integrating that and how we're integrating that into the cloud so you can get insight into the vast knowledge repository that is in your DMS.
There's an incredible amount stored. That must be a bit of a challenge to manage for everyone.
It is, but it really is like the intellectual capital that is in all our customers' document management systems. So how can we best surface that so that people can maximize the value of their own intellectual property?
That, and they've got to be able to work around different schedules, timing, and getting pieces of content from one location to another, as we're all kind of spread around the globe these days.
Absolutely, because that is the new normal.
Yeah.
In the past, it was really about geographies such as continents. Now it's geographies such as between people's homes.
Yeah, it's a brave new world out there. So if I wanted to learn as an ILTAN what you guys were doing, how are you sharing this information during ILTACON? What are you presenting and when?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. So we're doing this through a combination of on-demand and live sessions throughout ILTACON. We have 5 different sessions that we sprinkle throughout the conference, and we're really targeting specific personas. Now we welcome everybody to attend, but just to help people choose a little bit. If you're really more on the strategic side, we have 2 key sessions. One is our live company update, which Neil
Ooh,
and Dan Carmel will be presenting at Wednesday at 12:30 Central. Sorry, Wednesday 12:30 Pacific. I
yes.
have to
Yeah,
adjust to
that
that.
time zone thing really has thrown us all for a bit of a loop, but it's
It
good
is
because
it is
people
taking
can
some
join.
time, especially people such even you, like as
Is
you
me,
move
yeah.
time zones, like what time zone are you talking
Yeah,
about?
where what time is it? Yeah.
Absolutely. So that is our focus on our making knowledge work vision. And Neil's really going to be talking about our guiding principles around the user experience, about safe and governed data, about how we're doing artificial intelligence at DMS scale, and really focus again on the customer's business outcomes. We're anchoring everything to make sure that we're looking at through the lens of the customer and how can we deliver value to our customers. And of course, the cloud. We're doing a lot of work with Microsoft, as I mentioned, and we're talking about how Microsoft and iManage is better together. After that, there's also the platform for making knowledge work, and that is Dan Carmel and Sean Mesquita talking about the roadmap to execute on the making knowledge work vision, talking about features and functionalities, irrespective of whether you're on premise or in the cloud. If you're in the practice of law, we have a session called Making Knowledge Work Through Process Transformation. And that's how we're talking about how we're focused on optimizing specific workflows for individuals within your organization. One of them is transaction management, specifically with our closing folders acquisition, which we announced on ILTA TV
Yep.
last year with Sahil and
Awesome.
Neil last year
Yep.
at ILTACON, but also task management, our tracker product that really helps attorneys manage the workflow and the deadlines associated with specific matters that they're working on. And then artificial intelligence through a contract intelligence service that really helps mine and filter through the huge amount of information that needs to be digested within a corpus of contracts. For
A
those,
lot.
I know, and I'm not even done yet. I'm still going. I had to take a breath. And even with if you're thinking about moving to the cloud, we're really following the ILTA model in terms of just having customer panels on how they've moved to the cloud. We'll be profiling 2 firms, Robinson Russell and Cole Schultz, and they're going to talk through how they developed the business case, how they mapped their desired outcomes, and provide insight on how they prepare, the challenges that they encountered, and the lessons that they learned throughout the process, just like a standard ILTA educational session. And finally, implementation and adoption, which is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And that session is called Making Knowledge Work, tools and resources in supporting your desired outcome. And again, we're committed to our customer success. So we are helping our customers really set and define business outcomes and how to actually align those to your company's business imperatives. And then with that done, that allows you to measure the success of your initiatives because you're driving against that measured baseline. And we're talking about the tools that we have both publicly, whether it's Google accessible, personalized resources that are tailored to your organization, and the formal learning programs that are available to guide you through this entire process of setting, defining, measuring, and succeeding with your business outcomes and iterating throughout the life cycles, because it's not just about go live. Driving high adoption and customer satisfaction is a continuum that continues throughout the entire journey.
I love that you guys are doing so many different types of education. And I think that's really important because even just the idea of learning from other firms that have implemented is such a big deal. It helps people make educated choices when they're going to look for products or services.
Absolutely, and we're really just giving a cross section of information because it's not a one size fits all. People will need to
Sure.
have to pick and choose and be able to chart their own path through their journey.
I love that idea. I think that's awesome. But I'm always concerned. People come to ILTACON and they get so much information thrown at them at once. They can go to different events, they can join us virtually and learn, they can connect in different ways, they can go to the exhibit hall, they can talk to other members, and they can certainly talk to our valued business partners. I love talking to you. I love learning what you guys are doing. How can our members continue to learn with you after ILTACON?
That's a great question. I agree with you. You know, sometimes you go to ILTACON, you feel with so much information, or
So much
even
stuff.
stuff where it's like that's useful, but maybe 2 months from now. You know,
Yes.
how do you make sure that that's still available? And in the past, I'm dating myself. We used to buy those micro cassettes at the ILTACON conference, but that's
Oh, I'll edit
that's
that
that.
part out. Don't
That's
worry.
a long time ago. But now, twofold. One, all the ILTACON content will be on demand, so
Yes.
that's accessible as well. But we've really taken that to heart as well. You know, as you know, Beth Anne, we host our own Connect Live conference, and that was back in June, where we had over 30 hours of content. That on-demand platform is still available, and hopefully through the magic of your editing, you'll be able to put the QR code or
Yep.
Bitly link up there so that the people viewing can
Yes.
access that. So all our content is still up and live, because people will want to digest information
Sure.
at different periods of time, because
Of course.
they might be in different cohorts. Some people might already be live in the cloud. Some people might be thinking about going to the cloud. This information will continue to endure. But the other thing that we also want to do is we have a commitment to provide that ongoing content. So it's just not once a year Connect Live, again at ILTACON, maybe at Legal Tech. We want to have that constant stream of content throughout the year. So we're kicking off what we're calling our I'm Community series, and we're kicking off with some familiar topics that our ILTA attendees will likely know about. And those who have been to a few in-person events before we did the virtual one last year, is that traditionally iManage, we did ILTACON breakfasts. On
Yes.
Monday, we would do the kickoff support breakfast, followed by our artificial intelligence breakfast, followed by our governance and security breakfast. Well, we're not there in person, but we're bringing that virtually. So
Oh, cool.
if you click on the QR code, you'll be able to see the kickoff at the end of the month in the first week of September, where it's the exact same content, no calories, in terms of being able to educate our
Okay.
our ILTA community out there. But beyond that, that's the kickoff. So every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time, we're going to have ongoing content targeted by interest. And what I mean by that is the first Thursday of every month, we're going to have a topic at 10 a.m. on artificial intelligence or governance. The third Thursday of every month, we'll have topics around productivity, and that's our work suite,
Yep.
share, drive, etc. And then the second and fourth Thursday of every month at 10 a.m., we're going to have support-related topics. And the QR code and the Bitly link will give you the topics that we have already mapped out through September, but I've already seen an advanced look, and content all the way through up until the December holidays is jam-packed already. But also, just like with the e-groups, we also have our community forums on our help center, where really we want our customers, our partners, and iManage to be able to collaborate and share information together, both in those forums as well as in the ILTA e-groups.
Everything we do, whether at ILTACON virtually or on site, whether in our community groups or your community groups, is always about those connections and making sure that we're getting the right information to the right people at the right time. Dean, I'm thrilled to talk to you always. I'm excited to see you virtually and hopeful to see you in 2022 in person. Thank you so much for joining me.